Our final angel encounter in the Christmas story is a big one. The colossal display which nobody could miss, an announcement which shows exactly who the Christmas message is for. Baby Jesus has been born in a borrowed room, the only space available for this new little family in Bethlehem. The city of David, the city of Joseph's family, a city no bigger than a small village by modern standards. Normally no more than 500 inhabitants, the population had swelled with visitors to register for the census. So there was no room to be found in the upper room of the home, the guest room. The baby was laid in an animal feeding trough, and the family settled in beside it. The newborn king, born in less than ideal circumstances, but safe and sound, and in the place where kings came from, the town where King David was from, Bethlehem. So far though, the only people who know about the baby are Mary, Joseph, and I would assume all of the people who live in the house, who can hear Jesus screaming every time he wakes up, because I'm sorry, but I just don't believe the words of that carol. An event as special as God stepping into human history needs to be heralded. It needs announcing with fireworks and fanfare or something. Cue the angels. Clearly they would be dispatched to the most important people, the celebrities, the politicians, the leaders and the rulers. No. They went to those for whom Jesus came. The poor, the outcast, to those considered unclean because they could not afford the sacrifices. There were shepherds on the hillside outside Bethlehem, watching over their sheep at night. Then, out of the pitch darkness, came a light, so dazzling it was like midday, and the angel spoke to them, telling them that God's Son had been born down in the town, and if they wanted to go, they would go and find him, wrapped in cloth, in a manger, with his mother by his side. Then the skies over the hillside were filled with angels, praising God in a million voices and languages, shining bright, terrible and awesome, heralding the birth of a new king, a new priest, the chosen one, announcing it to a handful of shepherds. People who lived on the edges, marginal people who others would keep away from. They did the necessary work, but it made them dirty. They got cuts on their hands and scrapes which would make them unclean. The work that they did was essential, as the animals that they were tending were most likely destined for the sacrificial altar, not the dinner table. It was to those who provided the sacrifices for the people to take away the sin in the temple that the birth of the once and for all sacrificial lamb was announced. The angels saying, "The thing that you do now that leaves you as outcasts will soon no longer be needed." And so they went, they saw, and they told, and they came home rejoicing and praising God. This is the message which the herald angels sing to each and every one of us. The Christ has been born, a saviour for all, but most importantly, for the stranger, the foreigner, the outcast, the marginalised, the oppressed, to those who are pushed out of society because they do not act the same as everyone else. They don't love like everyone else. They don't look like everyone else. The herald angels sing, Christ has been born for you, because God loved the world so much that he gave his only Son.